Hello everyone and welcome to this video where I'm going to be talking about new builds versus updating builds. Now, as you may know, I have a lot of creations, just over 300 now actually, and the first one I built is this boat, the RV Alberta, that came out 4 years ago in March 2021, actually almost to this day. So in that time span, we've seen compressed gases, we've seen all kinds of changes to the game, all kinds of features being added, and that's not even considering the change of my own skill level, the thing that I've developed, learned, built, my microcontrollers that have advanced to another level compared to what I originally built with. And while some of these creations do look nice, I can't say they look ugly, they may not be up to standard for the rest of the types of creations I have as of now. This actually all started when I made this post 2 weeks ago, and I informed the community that I marked many creations outdated in my workshop, and again, not because it's broken necessarily, but because it doesn't match my current standard of building, and it may not be compatible with my other creations. Now I have a bunch of different systems that I tend to use, be it R10 or H4, Unicon, HGS, whatever. So having built that series of things and kind of standards that I could use, I actually found people commenting on my old creation saying, why can't I get something from 2022 working with your boat? Why doesn't it fit? Why can't it work? And I thought, okay, what am I going to do? Because again, over 300 creations, that leaves me with a lot of time to update them on some things that may not be worth it. And then what do I do? Because I don't want people commenting it, but I also don't want to delete. So what I did is I actually posed the question to the community, and I said that I've spent hundreds of hours updating old creations, which I did, but I cannot update them all fast enough. So I marked them outdated, and that I'm debating whether or not I'm going to just leave them outdated, delete them entirely from the workshop, or obviously update them. In some instances, I have, but in some instances, there's probably no point in updating it just because the amount of work, my style, all that stuff, I can't see it happening. On my Discord server, I actually have a page dedicated to my updated releases, and actually I made the same statement here. And then I went ahead and posted some of the creations that I have updated, including today, where I updated one of the oldest from 2022, the boom lift handler. So that's actually updated now based on my latest style. But again, it's a long time coming and there are a lot of broken creations. So especially if you go to my older pages, you'll find that they're noted outdated for a lot of them. One thing that's not outdated are all of my helicopters and all of my Regal builds. They're small enough and easy enough that I made sure they're good. Helicopters, like I said, certain ones I will update because they're easy enough. Others, such as the old GTC G1, isn't going to get updated. I made a new version. Same with the HD14, the Siege. These rats will get updated, but other certain ones, such as this side-by-side, which doesn't match my current style. Same with these fire trucks. Great idea, but just not what I go towards today. Now, funny enough, only 5 pages in, I released the Avalo, which was, in my opinion, the turning point of my creations and established a new standard to which I'm going to uphold. And since then, you'll find a lot less outdated creations. Obviously, a lot of my vehicles, especially the old GTCs, are outdated, but then you'll quickly find that a lot of the creations are no longer outdated, less and less as you get newer and newer. The GTC Gmog, I have to update. That thing is so cool and so good looking that that's non-negotiable. So I'm just kind of explaining all the submarines are updated except for the MK1. I did leave that. Maybe I've even removed it from everybody seeing it just because that was like my first submarine. Yeah, the Lil Scut. Like, this thing is never going to be updated. Is it visible? unlisted. So if you are currently subscribed to it, you'll see it. If you're not, there's no point to use this one. It's so old, doesn't match my style, but I don't want to delete it. Now, people have been telling me do not delete your old creations, and I really do appreciate the sentiment. There was 16 comments, and people were saying that pretty much that don't delete the old versions because they like to see how I've progressed. Now, I think, truthfully, the best case scenario is leaving that outdated note for certain ones like this that just will not be seeing an update. It's so far removed from what I currently do. There are remnants of the style. So you could actually see I've used some of that styling, but I've also changed a lot of things. So you don't have the same type of systems. Now granted, most of these still should work, so you can actually still use them if that's something you want to do. And I might one day make new versions or update them. It's not for sure one way or another depending on the creation, obviously, but it just goes to show that there has been a lot of style changes, a lot of learning curve, and for sure, just the game itself has given us either new features or curveballs. In the case of the fuel tanks, for example, needing to have a valve that lets the air kind of air out and vent out. So in that case, you certainly do need to at least update that. So a lot of times when it doesn't have the update note, it's because I've actually gone through and changed all this stuff. I've changed the full interface to make it up to snuff to my current things. Now, the eternal question is, why don't I spend all my time updating my old creations and making them good again? And the answer is, there is no pleasing everybody. Truthfully, I wish I could. I wish I could set aside my full-time job, my life, my wife, all the stuff, and just fully do this. But the reality of the situation is that's just not possible. We don't live in that type of world. So what I have to do is balance my time and manage my time. So what I have been doing is things that I determine need updating, well, then I update them. And things that don't, I don't. But there is a problem. Primarily, the problem is things that get updated do not bring the same buzz as a new creation. You can't tell me that you'd rather me update this plane than give you a brand new ship. Now, as cool as this plane is, and I still might update it, it does take a lot of effort. And in the meantime, I could be releasing a whole new creation that has new curves, new styles, new features that isn't just an old body recycled. Now, I do have to say, the Almeria is just one of those creations that is absolutely stunning, and at some point I really do hope I spend the time to update her. Just a beautiful build. Same with the Alberta. So simple but elegant and very useful for what it's supposed to do. So it is necessary to spend some time updating it. I've been spending loads of hours, but I've been balancing my time with new creations. As you could see from the release of the Unicon system, that was something that I really decided I needed to do, both for the game and for myself. In the case of the game, I wanted to give the game something that, some features and things and other players' elements that they really can utilize and help them. So I did do that. Now you will note, obviously, like I said, sometimes these old creations will still look good and will still work properly. And my style has been evolving, but it's also intentionally been staying the same. I've not been changing things so drastically because I do like the way the interface works. Like you could see here, actually, this is pretty much my new interior. What's outdated here is the actual functionality side of things, and especially the side-by-side. I found some major bugs and I just didn't have a chance to go through and update it. So there are different degrees of how broken certain things are. I wouldn't want to say that they're broken beyond, reasonably fixing them. Especially some are super cool looking and like work well and all that good stuff. Not like this thing. This thing is just awesome. I love this truck. So it really comes down to that. It is a lot of time, but it is worth it in some instances. But let me know in the comments, because I'm quite curious. I really want to see what the community thinks. I did pose the question to my Discord server. I did pose the question to the YouTube community, but I really just want to see. I want to see, do you guys think that it's worthwhile to spend hours, for example, a whole weekend, updating maybe 3 creations, rather than giving you a new barge that has a crane, for example? That was one of the things I want to do. Or a new cargo plane, or a new research submarine that's bigger, because people have been asking me for a medium-sized research submarine. I do want to give them that, but also take a look at this thing. I love this truck, and I really want it to stand the test of time. So this is one of those things I'm gonna update, but do I spend time updating everything? Well, for sure not everything, because I'm never gonna update everything, but at least updating the ones I intend on updating. There's certain ones, like I showed you, the GTC 14, that's never getting updated. It's been so long removed, and so far I have a whole new fleet of semi-trucks that have taken over. But I definitely do think it's a balance, especially in a building game such as this, where it really is something that as new parts come out, as new styles come out, you change, you learn, you adapt, you make things better. So it is constantly that. And truth be told, just FYI, so is engineering. As like in my world of engineering, the building codes, even from 20 years or 10 years ago, are different than today. And if you do a renovation, for example, on a building, you may have to bring the building up to code, up to brand new code, even though it was kind of grandfathered in. So you do see that in real life, and obviously you see that here in this game. So that is one of those things. But again, I'm just genuinely curious what everyone thinks is a good spending of my time. Of course, I'm going to dictate what's the best spending for my time, but I'm curious. I'm curious to see how you guys would take this situation, what to do, and what creations you really would like to see updated versus what creations, you know, I can get by without. Maybe there's certain ones that there's just leave it and no one really wants it. And then there's certain ones that they're like, please give us that, because that one is one we really like. I know the Almeria and the Alberta are on that list. They're super cool. All of these rats are on the list too. The shape is just so industrial. It really has no style. It just works, and that's kind of the whole point. But you can see here there is no display, whereas now I have a nice touchscreen display that engages things and makes things work. So it just works a lot nicer. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you to everybody subscribed. Thank you to all the fans, all the people involved in my Discord community, and a big thank you and shout out to all of my Discord server boosters and my YouTube members. They give me the extra boost in morale, and I have a lot of things planned for those premium members, if you will, including new releases, early releases, special contests, special questions, and just more time with them, time with that community, answering questions, looking at their creations, all that fun stuff. So if you're interested, I encourage you to join. But otherwise, a nice comment, just seeing that I'm giving to the community makes me super happy. So that is, end of the day, awesome to me. I appreciate each and every one of you, and you're going to see me making more videos, more creations, and a lot of fun stuff coming up. So thank you for watching, and until next time, happy Stormworksing, everyone.